Isn't it great when people get on? It gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling.
They will be met with fire and fury.
The US and North Korea just struggle to be friends. But why? Number one, they are total opposites. The US is a wealthy capitalist democracy, whereas North Korea is an impoverished, totalitarian one-party state. They fought a war in the 50s that has never officially ended. Nukes. North Korea keep threatening to use them, and the US want them gone. Human rights. No US president has ever agreed to meet up until they do something about them. And then last week, this happened. Ahead of the official summit, I've come to a Singaporean restaurant to hold one of my own. The American delegation is Professor Thomas Gift, political science lecturer, political activist Ashley Florestal, and digital marketer whose parents are from Korea, Peter Kim. They're joined by Sung Choel Choi, who fled North Korea and now lives in London. The only person who supports the North Korean regime is Harpal Brar from the Communist Party of Great Britain. I'd like to find out what you hope to gain from this summit.
What we would hope for is a reduction of their nuclear arsenal.
They will not agree to denuclearization unless it is not only verifiable, but it's also non-discriminatory. And at the very least, American troops have to be taken out of the Korean Peninsula. They've got no business to be there.
Would you guys be happy with that?
I think it would be hard to justify leaving South Korea, essentially our ally, kind of unguarded.
It's up to the Koreans to sort out their differences. If I'm fighting with my wife, I don't think my neighbors have a right to come and start saying, oh, I'll sort it out.
You know, you're absolutely right, but if your wife has a nuclear weapon, then it does kind of shift the balance of power a little bit.
North Korea lives as a beleaguered state. It's, you talk of North Koreans having over 1 million troops. Well, they're in their own country. It's not the numbers. The United States has the technology from the air, from the sea, from everywhere to bomb literally every country into obliteration. North Korea has no intention of striking at the United States. It knows it'll be obliterated if it did. But the United States has to know there's a price for nuking North Korea.
What would you guys be happy for America to compromise on?
I think the provision of aid to North Korea, as well as the lifting of sanctions, are probably the two key precepts that would be on the table. The problem is it's hard to see North Korea seeing that as a good deal.
Choi, if sanctions were lifted in North Korea, a place where you've lived, do you think that it would directly benefit the people of North Korea, or would the regime that's in place prevent that from happening?
Both sides. You can say government and then people, I think, will get the benefits together.
I think what could happen is you have two leaders on opposite ends of the table kind of in a screaming match at each other over what should be done, and I think they've both drawn lines in the sands that are very opposite of each other.
What's in this for Donald Trump, Thomas?
A lot of it just goes to Trump's persona, that he sees himself as this disruptor-in-chief, master negotiator.
Hey, they got to the table and no one expected that, so maybe they hammer out the long-term agreement right then and there.
Any conflict that the U.S. gets into, we're then going to turn and look across the pond and see and ask the UK for help. And so I think it is of vital importance to the UK, and that it doesn't get to a situation where the US is asking for troops, for money, for support, etc. I'm optimistic of opening a communication channel. I think if that is the best thing to come out of it, then I think that it's been successful.
The holy grail that the United States does not talk to the North Korean regime because it's illegitimate has been broken. There will be normal communications between the two parties.
Beyond denuclearization, as not only an American but a Korean American, one would hope that in the long term there's reunification in the card somewhere down the line.
Well, I call that a pretty successful summit. And you know what? They don't always end this way.